it. They're my things here. So you have ego mommy as well. But you can't. You'll sit there tomorrow. You go. So I just want to complete what I started. So I just want to complete what I started. I hope the guys that were asking questions will still make it. I had one pending question to answer. I'm still thinking that's the only question I didn't answer. You know, Samsung's an overheating, so my Samsung did overheat, and then it stopped the broadcast, so I could not get back into that same broadcast. So the question I did not answer was comparing the Probox to the Nissan Wing Road. By chance, I happened to go to a wiring garage, where the Wing Road was disturbing the man. The gearbox wasn't, the gears actually weren't shifting, it was automatic. And the problem was wiring. And he had tried to work on it for like 2 weeks. It wasn't really working out. I'm not saying that happens, but I'm just saying Nissan in this motokazi ni entono. Especially if it's going to be a commercial car, unless it's cheaper than the Toyota by like 15 to 30 million, don't buy it. Because you'll find that they are selling to you a Nissan Wing Road at 20 million when you can get a Probox at 26. I'll definitely buy the Probox. Because the Probox, first of all, is going to be much more reliable, and also when it comes to time for you to sell, the Probox will sell at for more money. If you buy it at 26 million, drive it for 3 years, you can sell it at 23. The Nissan Wing Road, buy it at 20 million, drive it for 3 years, and you'll be selling at 8. You get? So these are important things for you to understand, so that total matter you get. So Nissan Wing Road and Probox wins, definitely. Probox always wins. See border guys, border guys will carry everything. Now you see what he's carrying. He has failed to take it. I did. So I think that's the only question I did not answer. The Nissan Wing Road compared to the Probox. Definitely Probox. Try and compare. If you're comparing cars, don't compare a car that is whose reliability is not proven to a car that has reliability that has been proven. You should probably consider cars whose reliabilities has been both tested and proven that they are both reliable, and then you'll be asking the question actually which is much more reliable. If it's a question of cost, the Wing Road is cheaper than the Probox. Okay, the Wing Road is cheaper than the Probox to buy, but it's also cheaper to sell. You'll sell it much lower than the Probox. So those are things that we need to remember. Also, the Wing Road is kind of hi Joanne, thanks for being here. What question do you have? Jeremiah, what's your take on Town S-Lite S-Track? Buy Akuguda. Guda. But I would also recommend that you buy a petrol one. Don't buy a diesel one. Buy a petrol one, and don't buy one that has a 2Y engine. The 2Y engine is the one that has a carburetor. Buy one that has an EFI engine, which is normally the 3Y. Yes, Akogura, Kakora. But don't buy one that is very old. Those things still have some resale value. Buy one that is in good condition. One in good condition will probably cost you between 14 to 20 million if it's in good condition. Yeah, if you get it lower than 10 million, some of these cars price should be dictating But other than that car, the Town S, or you call it the Light S, they are very reliable. But don't buy one that has a carburetor engine. Carburetors are very bad. They are unreliable. Why? Because if you take bad fuel, the carburetor can block. If you go to a dusty road, the carburetor can block. And if a carburetor blocks, you either learn how to fix the carburetor yourself or you hire a mechanic. But also, this is my thought. You can buy a Isuzu Elf at about 25 million. Why would you buy a Town S or a Light S at 15? But that's just my thought. Because the Elf, first of all, has a higher resale value. 2, the Elf is a workhorse. It works more than a Town S. And 3, it just doesn't break down. And of course, it's diesel. And also the Isuzu Elf has been proven to work for most people. That's why you find that the Elf is the one that in the sand business, it's very popular. You find the Elf in shifting people, the Elf is still what? Very popular. Isuzu generally is very reliable. You'll find that there is even these Isuzu, what do they call them? The ones that used to bring sand to my site. When I remember the name, I'll tell you. But generally, you can even buy the Mitsubishi Canter. It's also okay. The Mitsubishi Canter is also okay. But Isuzu is always better, especially in the truck business. You get. So, my brother, the Light S, depending on how much you're buying, I'd recommend that if you're buying the Light S at more than 15 million, consider buying the Elf. Elf will, if it's for business, Elf will bring you more business than the Town S. Elf will outlast the Town S. Elf will fetch you a higher resale value when it comes for your time to upgrade. So any day, if you have more than 15 million and you are planning to buy a car, just go for the Elf. You will see your money doubling. Or if the Elf is very expensive, you can go for the Mitsubishi Canter. The Mitsubishi Canter is also very reliable, but the Elf is off charts. Nunji nyo a single Canter yafe. Yeah. So you guys, questions. I'm about to say bye. For those that don't know, Katuwanondiwendi baitaho matuga kumabanda. For the guys that have never been this side, you know there are guys that come from Marara, Bushenyi, there are guys that come from Kabale, there are guys that come from Hoima, Of course, when you come from Hoima, you can pass the other side, and then you come to Nakasongola, and then you come via this road. How good is Kia and Mercedes-Benz, whose shape is more Vito Bobureke nawe? Bureke. Kia, you can buy a Kia if it's brand new. Because brand new cars are just that, they are brand new. You get? They are brand new, and the brand new cars just don't break down easily.
Customer from
By the time they break down, the Mercedes-Benz, don't buy the small ones. That's my advice. Let me tell you why. If a Toyota Vitz with a 900cc engine disturbs people, what do you think the Benz with the same engine capacity will do to you? You get, First of all, even the mechanics of Benz don't like those small cars. What those cars don't have in the engine, they normally compensate with the electronics. Now, there is nothing as hard to fix in Uganda for mechanics as electronics. That's why electronics are the most expensive things to work on in Uganda. So always remember that. So that's a Pro Box in front of us. It has a red number plate, means it did not pay tax. So if you go to buy a car with a red number, oh, this car did not pay tax and they still don't have fuel. There, bari mukusindika. Did not pay tax, does not have money for fuel, kakati. Why doesn't he just park and buy fuel? Anyway, so everywhere, just walk on Ugandan roads and try to research yourself which trucks are more popular, you'll find that the Elf and the Canter. There's too much sun. I don't know if you see it yourself. Yeah, but I'm going to park somewhere where there is no sun, and then we can see that's an Isuzu. That the Isuzu Elf. There was a Canter behind there. Just if you think of buying a truck, a lorry, and you have more than 15 million, definitely go Elf or Canter. Go Elf or Canter. Vai. Definitely go Elf or Canter. Don't go Town S or Kayongeza, because Town S is the new Kayongeza. So let me face myself now. So okay, give it to mommy. Leave that door open for Abani. Bye. So but he was not treated. You only started giving him the medicine yesterday. So Kia, you can buy the Kia if it's brand new. If it's brand new, it will be very good for you, because a brand new car is a brand new car. It doesn't matter what type. If it's a Benz and you're also buying a brand new Benz, buy it. You still have to be careful though, but you can buy brand new. But if it's old, and what you like about it is like that it's shaped like a Vitz, no, don't buy. Just go and buy a Vitz. Normally, I tell you that if you're going to buy a car that is not a Toyota, it would be much better for you to buy cars with bigger engines, because all car manufacturers have tried to make cars with bigger engines to be much more stronger, much more reliable. Okay, so it would be a very good thing for you to just buy a bigger engine. If you're going to buy Mercedes-Benz, just buy E300, E320, E220, C220, C200 and all that, because those cars are going to be much more reliable than they're going to be much more reliable than the small ones, you get. And also when it comes to fixing, those cars don't have a lot of things to fix. The electronics, even when in electronics they are not as many, you get. So it's important for you to know Togura Moroka simply because it looks pretty. Buy a car when you know that it's capable of being reliable, at least 70% of what reliability is, you get. And we have already proven that the most reliable brand of cars in Uganda is a Toyota. Yeah. So I'm thinking, guys, I've tried to exhaust the questions. Thank you guys for being here. I actually did oh, I thought I was answering a man. Joanne. Now let me talk to you like I'm talking to a lady. I thought it was Jeremiah who asked about the key. I didn't read the name. Okay. So let me talk to you like I'm talking to a lady. Joanne, those cars are okay for you, because normally women don't go up country, don't drive up country, they drive to work home, to work home, to work home. So you can, but buy also just buy a Kia, should be brand new. Don't buy a Kia from the bond. The Mercedes-Benz should be a second car, because I know it's very hard for you to find a Mercedes-Benz that is brand new. So the Mercedes-Benz should be a second car. Go in a Vitsko and you drive the Mercedes-Benz. Even for the men. But I doubt that a man would buy that Mercedes, the small B, I think it's called the B170. The B170 is fairly new on the road. There is one that is called the A170. That's the very first one. That one is a Chisirani, Ryan. So the first one, it's called the A170. It's bad. That one is bad. It's like it was bewitched. Then there's the one, the B70. I think it's a modification of the 170. It even looks sexier. Now that one, the history is not very clear, because it's a new B series, so it's fairly new on the road. But I wouldn't recommend you to buy it as the only car. Kagurenga, it's a second car, so that when it breaks down, because it will break down, so that when it breaks down, you can park it and keep driving your Toyota. The Kia, if it's brand new, you can buy. If it's brand new, because normally brand new cars have warning systems. If something is about to break down, the new car will actually tell you that this is about to break down, and then you can. I don't know what do you call cheapest, Ryan? What do you call cheapest? Because cheap to me may not be cheap to you. Okay, cheap to me might be embarrassing to you, or it might be an insult. And cheap to you might be expensive to me. How cheap are you talking? Some people cheap is 10 million. To some people cheap is 15. To some people cheap is 2 million, because you can even get a car at 2 million. You can even get a car 2.5. I've ever bought a car at 2 million. I actually was weighing. Someone was selling to me a car at 2.5, and then another one gave me an offer of 2 million, and I said, okay. I was spoiled of choices. And then yesterday I found a friend of mine just bought a car at around 1.8, and he's working on electronics. And the car doesn't look that bad. Of course, it's a Golf, so it's. I told him he needs to keep money around for the gearbox, because the gearbox might either be spoiled or it will be spoiled very soon. The engines normally don't break down. You get. So how cheap do you want to say cheap? Do you install car trackers in another person's vehicle on request of their partner? Munang is the sitting, it is a Ryan. You want me to install a tracking device? Make sure your partner is not there. Just tell me to install the tracking device. For me, if you pay me, when you call me to install a tracking device, you are the owner of the car at that time. You get. You are the owner of that car at that time, so you have contracted me to install a tracking device in your car. I will install it, and I install our app on your phone, and then you can monitor the car whenever you want. But if it's your partner's car, that's a lot of work, my brother. Sorry, I should not be entering there, but if I had to install a tracking device in my wife's car, but anyway, that's not my business to do. But yes, for me, it's not your partner's car, it's your car. Just call me and I'll do that for you. And your partner, I don't even know who your partner is. So Joanne, why am I not reading your name? I thought it was Ryan who was asking that question. Joanne, that's a install a tracking device in your man's car. Okay, for the man you install. For the man you install, babasajja we are little, tuli batono, we are few. Abasajja, but in a woman's car, I wouldn't. But in your man's car, just make sure you drive the car and put it at a place where he will not catch you installing a tracking device, because men don't like to be monitored. He might get very angry at you. So Joanne, I think yes, I will install the tracking device. Just tell me, find me here and install the tracking device. And so paying consultation ticket. Huh?
Just for review consultation.
So that's funny, Joanne, but yes, I will install the tracking device. And he will never know. I don't even know who he is unless you tell me and tell me them tracking device. No, Joanne, there is nothing to be embarrassed about. There is nothing to be embarrassed about. So Ryan, do you no, can you tell which cheapest car in Uganda? The cheapest car right now is the Paso. The cheapest car right now is the Paso. The new cars, the Paso is the cheapest car right now. And if you're talking about the other old cars, the cheapest car to buy would be a Starlet right now, because you can get a Starlet as cheap as 2 million. Yeah, and if the timing is good, you can even get a Starlet at 1.5. But also you can get a Toyota Chivina Corona at 3 million, 2.5. Yeah, there are so many cheap cars around. Yeah, there are so many cheap cars around that you can get. Yeah, so cheap is subjective. You'll have to tell me this is cheap for me, this is expensive for me. Yeah, but you can get a Paso is the cheapest car right now, Bond. It's about 20 million depending on where you buy it. Bobo Frumiene, where you can get a Starlet at 1.5, 2.5. You can get a Chivina 3 million, Caldina 3 million. You get you can get a RAV4 at about 5-7 million. You can get Ipsam at 3 to 5 to 6 million. Nadia 7, 8, 9 million. Noah 10, 12, 13 million. Can get Fielder, the older models, 13 to 15 million. Spacio, Raum, you get from as low as, you can get Raum as low as 5 million. You can get Spacio. I don't recommend anyone to buy Spacio old model right now, but you can get a new model at 12, 13, 14, 15 million. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've literally covered. Cheapest in the bond is a Paso. Of course, you can get a cheaper car of another brand. You can get a Nissan that is like a Paso at cheaper than 20 million, but it will cost you more to keep on the road. Every Toyota car, just know there is a cheaper version in either Subaru, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Mazda. You get every car in Toyota. Just know there is a cheaper car in another brand. You get. So I hope I've answered your question, Ryan. Have I? So kindly share my channel with your friends, brothers and sisters. Share a video that you find useful to them so that they don't make mistakes. The reason I started this channel was so we could help each other. Yeah. So that you don't make mistakes. I don't make mistakes. Your brother, sister, a cousin or friend doesn't make mistakes when they're buying cars. I sell tracking devices and I install them. Our tracking devices cost 350,000, and the 350,000 covers the tracking device and installing it. And if you're around Kampala, we find you where you are and we install it from there. If you're up country, you cover transport costs and then we come and install it from there. You can also come to our office around Bombo Road and we install it from there. Now for my sister Joan, you want to install in your partners, you have to drive that car. It would be best if you drive the car. Shamim, and then you come to Shamim, and then when you're seeing Shamim, we install the tracking device for you there, and then we give you the procedures of monitoring the car on the. And actually, Joan, the advantages, you can actually call that tracking device and listen to what he's saying, who he's talking to. Yeah, so that's, and then you can also track the car to see where it has been at Ambuliddewa that day. Yeah, you can turn off the engine when you want. You call him and he says, ndiwa Paulo, Paulo waka, and you see on the device is moving, and you tell him, are you sure? And then you turn off the engine and you ask him what is happening. It would be a dramatic scene. Yeah, so we also sell the tracking devices. Of course, we also have car alarms at 200 and 250 depending on which one. Yeah, but the tracking devices are very useful for you guys that have cars. A car, when you have a car, it seems like it's a very simple thing to have, but the day they steal that car from you, that's when you will know. You'll even look for it in your pocket. You look under other cars to see if your car is there. So it's a very good thing for you to understand that your car is actually an asset. Yeah, of course, Mercedes-Benz is cheap to buy. Even maintenance, if you get the right mechanic, it's cheap to maintain. But I'll tell you, I live 35 kilometers from town. I'm about 10 kilometers to get to home. My child is in hospital now for review. So I'm going to drive an extra like 10 kilometers to get home. And I'll tell you that where I live, there is no Mercedes-Benz, there is no Volkswagen, but Toyotas are in plenty. When I had just moved there last year, there were many people that had Volkswagen. And now, as I speak, they all sold them and bought Toyotas. Toyota is a winner, my brother. Yeah, Toyota is a winner. But still, I'm in love with Mercedes-Benz. I look at the C200, for example, and my heart skips a beat. You get. And by the way, Joan, you can if you're not in the country, you can actually turn off the engine from wherever you are. You can even turn off the engine from London when the car is in Uganda. That's how powerful our tracking devices are. Yes. So when you come in, you give me a call, and then yeah, we see what to do. So Ryan is saying, what is the road condition in Uganda? Bad. It's like we don't have leadership. The road condition is one thing that embarrasses me about living in Uganda. It's like our leaders don't go to London or to Netherlands and they like the things they see there. Now you're making me sad. The roads are bad. So Ryan, where are you watching this from? Because that's important for me to know. For example, there are cars that we don't really drive in Uganda, but in other countries they drive them and they are cheap for them. For example, I'll give you an example of Nissans. In Kenya, Nissans are everywhere. because the spare is cheap there. In Uganda, we don't just drive Nissan because spare is not everywhere. Actually, some of the guys that drive Nissans in Uganda, they import their own spares from Kenya. So that's why the Nissan is not popular here. You get. And then you asked Ryan, is the car in Uganda expensive due to tax? You're from Bangladesh, you want to visit Uganda. Okay, I'm going to come to that later. The cars are expensive because of tax. For example, someone can buy a car from Japan at 6 million, use 4 million to transport it to Uganda, and then they'll pay double. They'll pay that's the very amount. They'll spend 10 million to get the car in Uganda, and then they'll pay 12 million for tax. So it's the tax that makes the cars very expensive. Very unfair, but that's our country. So Ryan, if you're in Bangladesh and you want to visit Uganda, just don't buy a car. It's cheaper to rent a car here. If you're going to visit, I'm imagining you're going to be here 1 or 2 months and then you go back. So if you're going to come and visit, just come. You can hire a car for a week at a rate between 200 to 1 million a week, depending on which car of course you're hiring. There are cars that you will also. Yes, I have WhatsApp. Let me read the number for you. +256 752 991 051. Okay, the +256 is the country code. This is also for the guys that didn't have my number. My number is +256 752 991 051. That's my number. It's ever on. So I was saying, Ryan, when you come to Uganda, it's cheaper to hire a car. There are cars that you can hire for 1 million a day, like the Land Cruisers, the 2013, 2016. You hire them for 1 million a day. Of course, they give you a driver as well. But there are also cars you can hire and drive yourself. You can hire those cars for between 100,000 a day to 200,000 a week, depending on how trusting that person can be to you. The car hire services, they hire daily, but that would be nice. That would be nice when you come. Uganda is actually, naturally, Uganda is gifted. It's just that the leadership has really done a disservice to this country. But I know that I'm thinking they're also better than they are trying to think beyond getting richer on themselves and their families. If they start loving their country the way we love it, trust me, Uganda will be the most wonderful place to live. Yeah, so when you come to visit, it might be cheaper for you to hire. For example, if you came to Uganda, you can hire a car for those 3 months at 6 million. You don't buy, you don't service. The person that hired you the car does the service, does the repair. You just give him 6 million and you drive your car for 3 months. And the 6 million, I'm talking about a very good car. Very good car. If we want to talk about the normal cars, the Wish and all that, you can hire for 3 million. Places to visit in Uganda. I don't really tour my country. I don't want to lie, but there's so many places. Ugandans just don't tour. Why? The reason why we actually don't tour our country is because for me to go to a national park, for example, I have to sleep in a hotel, and the pricing at those hotels are pricings for tourists, international tourists. The prices are not for Ugandans. You get, because I cannot go and hire and rent a hotel for 300,000 to 500,000 a night. For me as a Ugandan, it seems like it's overkill. So that's mostly the reason why you will find that Ugandans don't actually tour their country. But we would love to, but we find the hotels to be very, very expensive. Probably yes, probably I could, but then I'll also have to be Googling places for us to go. So yeah, yeah, but don't worry. When you come to Uganda, you can't fail to find a very competent tour guide, because I may not be able to either give you the time or to know the places to go to, but you will find a competent tour guide to take you places. And now that I know that I have people watching that are not really Ugandan, I'll probably one day host a tour guide that will tell us about places that you can visit. Even for my brothers and sisters that have gone abroad for 2-3 years, you have probably forgotten Uganda that much that you need to actually visit. My phone has a very low battery, so I have to say goodbye. But it has been nice. I did a 1 hour broadcast before this one, then my phone overheated, Yeah, my phone overheated, and then it put me off the broadcast. I could not go back in. That's why I did the second one. But also the other one is quite interesting. Yeah, I also for the Ugandans that are abroad that want to come and start business. Yeah, if you have thought of doing transport business, I have an interview in my videos where the guy Ali talks about the taxi business and what you need to have it. You're welcome, Mutebi. Thank you for being here as well. He talks about the taxi business and what you need to both have a good taxi business and to also maintain it properly. So he talks very well about it. I'm also going to get the one for trucks for those guys that want to start a truck business. It will be very good. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to save it, Ryan. Yeah. Let me see what I have. Why are they changing the medication?
It's not working for him.
Yet they sold you very expensive medicine.
Medicine, honey.
No, I don't. I don't want to know. That's their job.
Yeah.
They are professionals. So
Give me the money you have.
no.
The chocolates.
No. So you guys, I think I have to say bye now. My phone has run out of battery. Yes, Solo, thank you for being here. Maintenance of a car in Uganda. Actually, maintenance of a car depends on which car you're driving, what condition it is in. If the car is in almost new condition, you'll literally not do any maintenance. You just do service probably every 2 or 3 months, which is around 100, 150, and that's it. Change brakes at around 50,000 to 100, and that's it. You get. So it's actually very, very affordable. So guys, thank you very much for being here. Ryan, Fred, Solo, Joanne, I look forward to seeing you and doing our trick. So you guys have a very good evening. I'm going to have a broadcast tomorrow in the morning. Yeah. A bunch of questions that have been asked I'm going to be answering tomorrow. So I'll see you if you can make it tomorrow morning. I'll have to remind you guys, on Monday 17th, which is next Monday, I'm going to have a broadcast here. I've already scheduled it. You can go and put yourself in the waiting or ask for, you go to the events, the upcoming broadcasts on my channel. You'll see that broadcast. I have Council Yunus. We're going to be having a chat. Starting 4 p.m. it will be a live broadcast. And we're going to be talking about a lot of things, including car etiquette. I think he has had quite the experience. Normally people don't borrow my cars because I normally have a car that is working. I never have a car that I'm not using, that I'm parked there. So it's rare to find people borrowing my car. But we're going to be chatting about all those things, and I'm sure they'll be very helpful to you. 17th Monday, the broadcast will start around 4 p.m. I've already scheduled the event, so you can go and ask for an alert when the broadcast actually starts. So you guys, I have to go. Have a very good evening if it's evening where you are. Have a good afternoon if it's afternoon where you are, and have a very good day if it's morning where you are. I'll see you either tomorrow or whenever you choose to be here. Don't forget to share my channel, share my videos with your friends and family. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Don't forget, I sell tracking devices as well. 350,000 for a tracking device. You can turn off engine from wherever you are. Even if you are in the UK and the car is in Uganda, you can turn off the engine. You can see where the car has been on your phone, all those things. You can even call the tracking device in the car and listen to what the people are saying in the car. It gives you a lot of power over your car. I also help people inspect cars. If you're going to buy a car, it's pre-purchase inspection is very important. I stress it, and I do that for you at between 350 to 500,000 depending on which car it is. I come with my own mechanic, but you can also bring your mechanic. It's not bad to have a number of opinions. Yeah, me, I'm there as a guardian angel to slap you on the cheek and say, "Wait, Togula Motoke, it's a bad car, don't buy it," or to say, "Let's buy this car, it's a good car." I will be there as a guardian angel. Also, I have a blog, Buy a Car Kampala, Uganda. That's where I transcribe what I've said here into articles that you can actually go and read. Yes, thank you, Dens. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so you can go and read articles for your family that cannot watch videos. Data is very expensive in Uganda. You can tell them to go and they actually read those articles on the website. I'm a marketing professional, and I help businesses also. The kind of marketing that I've used on this channel to get it this popular is the same that I use. I make sure businesses actually make profit, and that's what I went to school to do. Yeah, so if you have a business that is struggling, especially in Uganda, I could be of service. I can advise you. Advice on phone and WhatsApp is free. It's when you want to see me and I talk to you in person that you actually pay consultation. But if you want to ask for business advice, marketing advice over the phone and WhatsApp, that's totally free. So don't forget my phone, WhatsApp number 256 or 0752 991 051, and you have me on WhatsApp or over the phone, and then we talk and I advise you. Have a very good evening. Ciao.